You remember being a kid, right? Taking a simple sheet of paper and, with just a few folds, turning it into a paper airplane that could just soar across the room? Or, one of those little fortune tellers that somehow knew your future? It was just a game, just something fun to do. Well, what if I told you that simple act of folding is actually one of the most powerful and game-changing technologies we have today? I know, it sounds a little out there, but the very same principle that lets you make a paper crane is what makes giant space telescopes and life-saving medical devices possible.
Because we're not just talking about a kid's craft here. We're talking about a fundamental concept that has unlocked some of the most mind-blowing innovations of our time. Okay, so let's get into it and see how this humble little fold became a secret weapon from modern engineering.
First things first, to really get its power, we've got to go back, way back. See, this is not a new idea at all. It's an ancient art form with incredibly deep roots, especially in Japan.
And that art, of course, is origami. The name itself kind of tells you everything you need to know. In Japanese, ori means the fold, and kami means paper. It is, quite literally, folding paper. A concept so simple yet so powerful.
What's really cool is watching how it evolved over time. Before the 1600s, it was actually called orikata, and it was something only Japanese nobility did for religious ceremonies or really fancy gift wrapping. But then, during the Edo period, paper got a lot cheaper and suddenly, boom, everyone could do it. The final piece of the puzzle came in the 19th century when that Japanese tradition mixed with Western paper folding activities in schools, creating the modern origami we all recognize today.
So yeah, it became this huge cultural thing, a beloved hobby. But this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. People started realizing that origami wasn't just about making pretty shapes, it was about understanding the shapes themselves.
Origami found a new home in education almost immediately. For math teachers, it was this brilliant, hands-on way to show complex geometric ideas. For kids, it was an amazing way to build fine motor skills and focus. And then architects started looking at its patterns, using them as inspiration for some of the most stunning and unique buildings you'll see anywhere in the world.
But that was just the beginning. Its influence didn't just stop at art and education. Oh no. Engineers and scientists started looking at origami and saw this core principle. You can make something incredibly compact and complex from one single simple sheet. And they had this aha moment, realizing that that idea could solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
Take medicine, for instance. On one hand, origami is used as a therapy tool, helping patients with memory loss improve their focus. But on a much deeper level, engineers are using its principles to design absolutely incredible medical devices. Imagine a heart stent folded up into a tiny, tiny package that can travel through your body and then just unfold, right in the perfect spot to save your life. The whole goal is to make surgery less and less invasive.
And nothing shows the practical power of the fold better than this. Let's talk about the airbag in your car. The original airbags were basically, they were just stuffed into the dashboard. That meant they were bulky, and when they went off, it wasn't always as fast or as controlled as you'd want. But then, by applying origami principles, engineers figured out how to fold that airbag with incredible precision. And here's the kicker. That systematic fold made all the difference. As the engineer Robert J. Lang, who's a total pioneer in this field, put it, the origami fold let them cram a massive airbag into a teeny tiny space and guarantee it would pop open perfectly every single time. Today, pretty much every airbag on the planet uses this idea. An amazing innovation for sure. But the applications get even bigger. We're talking much, much bigger. We're going from the dashboard of your car all the way out to the final frontier, outer space. Think about it. What is the fundamental challenge of space exploration? You have to build these enormous things, right? Giant telescopes, huge solar arrays. But you've got to launch them inside a rocket that's, relatively small. So how do you solve that puzzle? You fold it, of course. The most famous example has to be the James Webb Space Telescope. Its massive golden mirror and that tennis court-sized sun shield were folded up like the most complex piece of origami imaginable to fit into the rocket. And once it got to space, it unfolded flawlessly. We're using this same idea to design everything now, from foldable moon bases to satellites and these giant star shades that will help us find new Earth-like planets. Okay, so we've gone from paper cranes to life-saving airbags to these incredible space telescopes. It's all amazing. But what does any of this have to do with your daily life right now?
Well, the answer is probably in your hand, or maybe it's in your pocket as we speak. Because that exact same logic, the same thinking that sent the James Webb Telescope into orbit, is now reshaping one of our most personal, most essential pieces of tech, the smartphone.
I mean, we've had folding phones for decades, if you think about it. Remember those flip phones from the 90s? They just used a simple hinge to make a big phone a little smaller. But then came the smartphone revolution, with that single, solid pane of glass. For years, the idea of folding an actual screen in half felt like pure science fiction. But thanks to some unbelievable advances in materials and a design approach pulled straight from Origami, the impossible became possible.
And that really is the whole idea here. It doesn't matter if it's a paper crane, an airbag, a space telescope, or the phone in your pocket. The genius of the Fold has always been the same. It lets us reduce space without sacrificing anything, to make things smaller without cutting anything away. So the next time you see a foldable device, just remember, it's not just a cool gadget. It's the modern legacy of an ancient art that is quite literally changing the shape of our world. It really makes you wonder, what are we going to unfold next?